It's streaming right now, I think.
Good afternoon. We'd like to welcome to the MIAA Division III Track and Field Championships at Reggie Lewis. This year, the participating students, athletes, coaches, and contest officials have worked diligently to prepare for today's competition. We'd like you to show your appreciation by demonstrating good sportsmanship and respect for all those in attendance, and also by loudly cheering all the performances of the athletes today. Also ensure that your behavior reflects the values that should be identified with student athletes. Assume responsibility for your behavior and the behavior of those around you. If for any reason you require assistance, please call upon the MIAA, the school, security officials here in the building. Our great nation has persevered through the leadership and the sacrifices of men and women who have served or are currently serving in our armed forces.
I'm not getting it though. Why?
We would like to invite both veterans and current military personnel to stand. We would like to thank you for your service to the country.
This is the first call for both the girls and the boys 55-meter dash. Please report to the gym.
Every year our community has some tragedy strike during the season. This year, last weekend, we'd like to take a moment of silence to remember the two Miaa high school juniors who ran track for all 3 seasons. Talia Neufeld and Adrian Garrido were struck by a car last Saturday and died. Also, we'd like to take this moment to remember our deceased service members and the students and teachers from Parkland, Florida. Please include anyone else you might like. For the national anthem, we have Mike Hill, a senior at Hingham.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Division III MIAA State Championships, your live feed being provided to you by Bay State Running, powered by Marathon Sports. We're going to get rolling here right off the bat with the girls' 55 hurdles. As the meet goes on, we'll try and update you on team scores. In this Heat 1, looks to be the defending champion, Caitlin Holloran of Hopkinton. She came in with a seat time of 8:69. She is your Heat winner pretty handedly. Top 8 girls move on to the finals. No Heat winners, it's all on time. In this Heat 2, it's going to be Olivia Rosen of Hopkinton, Allison McDonough, Silver Lake Regional, Elizabeth Lee of Sharon, Christina Spilakos of Milford,
With 4 seconds
Grace
to go.
Desmond, Westboro, Anna Horgan, Duxbury, and Audrey Mock of Milton, just a sophomore. As we talked about before, Caitlin Holloran is the returning champion from last year. Heat 2 without a problem. Straight down the center, that's Spalakios of Milford, and she wins fairly easily to move on to the finals. She finished 3rd at this meet last year. Only other returner to finish in the top 8 last year was Leela Belcher of Hingham, the sophomore. Finished 8th as a freshman last year. Heat 3, Megana Paris of Westboro, Gabrielle Williams of Minnechaug Regional, Alexander Colby, Hingham, Sabrina Hauer of North Attleboro, Leanne Kibbe, Milford, Stephanie Baptiste, Tewksbury, Zoe Dayton, the high jump specialist from Hingham, and Beatriz Mazzo of Dartmouth. Top time is Kibbe from Milford. She'll be in lane 5. This is the last divisional meet of 5. We started on Wednesday, and now it's finally Sunday. That's Kibbe making a late move at the end there to take this heat. Leanne Kibbe of Milford. I'm sure we'll have quite the following today for athletes and coaches to try and find out if their athlete makes it in. It's top 3 in each heat or event, and it's the next 9 fastest times out of all 5 divisions. So a lot at stake today, not just at the Division 3 meet, but for athletes on the bubble from the other meets that have already happened. Final heat here of the 55-meter hurdles, Sheila Sosavi of Marlborough, Cinta Kuzami of Stoughton, Isabel Gay of Hingham, Ann Feather of Hopkinton, Jada Johnson of Sharon, Michaela Frank-Hoyce of Walpole, Ari Preacher of North Attleboro, and Rose O'Riordan of Neshoba Regional. Francois, most likely, Michaela Francois from Walpole. And in lane 5, Jada Johnson of Sharon, who's going to be looking for some key team points today, takes that win. In the girls' fight for today, with teams, we'll be looking at Milton, Hopkinton, Sharon, Tewksbury, Billerica, Shepherd Hill, and North Attleboro. A good amount of teams will be in the mix today, and as usual, track is a team sport. We'll be trying to keep you posted on all those team results as we go. We're used to seeing Milton and Tewksbury in those D4 races. We'll see if they can shake it up. See if any other teams can kind of get in the middle of that fight that we've seen so many times. Boys 55-meter hurdles, first section. Anthony Pisano, Stoughton. Joshua Gadaba of Catholic Memorial. Steve Wilson, Tewksbury. Jonathan Schultz, North Attleboro. Zachary Brown, Milford. Mark DeVanzo of Sharon. And Jack Dorr of Oliver Ames. All the top dogs of the girls' 55 move on. 55-meter hurdles. A lot of newcomers to this boys' 55 hurdles. Only 2 returners. Jonathan Schultz, the top seed, was 6th at this meet last year, and Britt Bangfang of Hingham was 7th last year. So those will be the 2 guys to keep an eye on. But a lot of new faces in this hurdle, 55 hurdle race. It's Jonathan Schultz, your #1 seed, right down Broadway. North Attleboro wins this first heat. Heat 2, Ralston Osberg of Hopkinton, Dylan Ware, North Attleboro, Mazid Kamara of Sharon, Isaiah Powers, Westboro, John McCarthy of Silver Lake Regional, Kyle Belmonte, Shepherd Hill, and William Brown of Danvers. Isaiah Powers is your number 2 seed from Westboro with a 7.85, not too far off Schultz.
Spiliakis, Halloran, Johnson, and McDonough. Report to the blue high jump team.
See if Powers can punch his ticket into the finals. That gun was held a little longer than the other ones, but off without a hitch. And that is Powers way, way out in front. Dominates his heat. In the boys' team fight today, it should be a two-team battle between North Attleboro and Pembroke. We'll see if Duxbury or Tewksbury or anyone else can have a say about that, but our preview on Bay State Running, we highlighted North Attleboro and Pembroke as it was at the Division 3 state relays. Came down to those two teams, North Attleboro edging out Pembroke. Heat 3 here of the boys' 55-meter hurdles. Luke Popich of Hingham, Sam White, Marblehead, Tommy Bew of Stoughton, Britt Bayfang of Hingham, Thomas Huber, Marblehead, Garrett Pritcher of Hopkinton, Isaiah Stressman, Sharon, and Pablo Moore of Greater Lawrence Tech in Andover. A lot of Hingham athletes in both these girls' 55 and boys' 55 hurdles. A testament to Julia Marachnik, assistant coach, hurdle coach for Hingham. Third heat of 4. This will be followed by the girls 55 and boys 55, and we'll get started on the oval at about 1:30 for the 1 mile run. Here we are. See if lane 5 can reign supreme. And that's Tomer Huber of Marblehead, just edging out Britt Bayfang of Hingham.
Section 2 in Powers, Westboro, 782. That's the 10th fastest time in the state. One more section.
Final section of the boys 55-meter hurdles. Jacob Gallagher of Pembroke, Jonathan Sparks, Dartmouth, David Peters, Stoughton, John McAdam, Oliver Ames, Matt Tarantino, also a strong high jumper of North Attleboro, Zach Lalonde of Tewksbury, Trent Marzella of North Attleboro, and Ethan Fontes of Walpole. Keep track of all the North Attleboro boys today and the Pembroke boys. We'll be trying to add up all those team points as we go. We almost made it through the hurdles with no issues, but we'll see what happens here. Looks like there was an athlete asked to leave. May have been Trent Marcella. Actually, looks like Zach Lalonde of Tewksbury. Never a good thing, a DQ. But as we said in one of the earlier divisionals, don't jump the gun. And we're off here. See what Matt Tarantino down the center of the track can go. And it's all Matt Tarantino, also a high jump specialist. North Attleboro looking for some heavy team points early. And here we are headed into 4 sections of the girls' 55-meter dash. A lot of returners from last year's final. Augusta Burhans of Winchester finished 3rd here last year. She's your top seed. Sharon's Angela Wallace finished 2nd here last year. Ashley Donnelly from Hopkinton was 7th. And Vanessa Abraham of North Attleboro was 4th in this race last year. So plenty of experience returning in the girls' 55-meter dash. In this first section, it's going to be Hope McKenzie from Tewksbury in lane 2, Kara Martin of Bishop Feen, lane 3. Vanessa Abraham, we talked about her before, from North Attleboro. Augusta Burhans, the top seed from Winchester. Mick Delaney from Hopkinton. Gabrielle Williams, Minnechaug, and Madison Perry of Oliver Ames in lane 8. A lot of girls bunched up in that 7-3 to 7-4 range, so don't be surprised if we see an upset today. We saw some fast races on Friday night in the D1 championships and also in the D2 championships yesterday afternoon. We'll see if D3 can live up to that hype. It's close, but that seems to be Augusta Burhans, the #1 seed, followed closely by Vanessa Abraham of North Attleboro, both likely to move on to the finals. Section 2 of the girls' 55-meter hurdles, or 55-meter dash, Savannah Vartabedian of Minnechaug, Avonia Herbert of Sharon, Hannah Curtin of Winchester, Angela Wallace of Sharon, Adelis Perez of Milford, Ashlyn McClure of Neshoba, and in lane 8, Caroline Harkins of Hingham. Angela Wallace, your #2 returner from last year. We have the possibility of 2 Winchester, 2 Sharon, and 2 North Attleboro girls in the final if seed times hold up. It could look like a tri-meet in those finals of the 55-meter dash. As usual, the top athlete is in lane 5, and that will be Angela Wallace of Sharon.
Augusta Bottom's time, 7:34 in the first section, equals the pace fastest time in the state this year.
Coming up in section 3, Brianna McKell of Walpole, Allison McDonough, Silver Lake, Julia Mastrio of Minnechaug, Veronica Wallace of Sharon, Michaela Glenn of Minnechaug, Leah Jett of North Attleboro, and Victoria Goon from Hingham. That is section 3 of the girls' 55-meter dash.
Wallace, 7:24.
Slow going here on this section 3. Not sure what's happening down there. And we're off. Section 3. Once again, all lane 5 on this one. Veronica Wallace of Sharon. We're going to have 2 Wallaces from Sharon in the finals. Final section here of the girls' 55-meter dash. Girls looking to get into that final. We're going to have Lauren Freely of Pembroke, Sydney Sutton of Milford, Ashley Donnelly of Hopkinton, Lily Weatherby of North Attleboro, Marissa Latterbush of Tewksbury, Elise Burkhauser of Hingham, and Taylor Creighton out of Oliver Ames High School. Another clean heat is off. And Lily Weatherby is going to hold off Ashley Donnelly for the heat win. We'll move on to the boys' 55-meter dash on the infield straightaway. Section 1. Is going to be Colton Rushk of Tewksbury, Javon Epps of Sharon, Javier Stanley of Diamond Regional, Joe Doherty of Marblehead, Brendan Brown of Malden Catholic, Neil Arquilano of Milford, and Spencer Singer of Sharon. Section 1, boys 55-meter dash. And that is all Joe Doherty of Marblehead. As we've mentioned many times, your top seed will be in the 5th lane of each heat. Section 2, it's going to be Jalen Pierre of Hingham, Nicholas Joyce of Stoughton, Max John of Silver Lake, Smith Charles of Milton, Roman Fratazio of Pembroke, Ryan Tierley of Silver Lake, and Liam Conway of North Attleboro. Smith Charles of Milton, the junior sensation, was the Division IV champion last year. He has moved up. He comes in with a 6.45, should challenge that meet record of 6.42 by Ron Hall out of Winchester. Ori Ojo won this meet last year, so he was the Division III champion, and now he has to deal with Smith Charles with the alignment changes. Clean start. Smith Charles, easy win, as expected out of these prelims. No surprises there. Heat 3, Kevin Donahue, Silver Lake, Sean Lehane of Milford, Victor Vichow of Winchester, Eugene Malachavik of Westboro, Hugo Lopes of Milford, Alex Hughes of Walpole, and Luke Chapman, the freshman from Pembroke. We'll see how quick Smith Charles went there in a second. Doherty and Marblehead won that previous section in 6.74, and that's Smith Charles in 6.52. So not crazy fast for him. More of a warm-up out of the prelims to see if he can take a charge at that meet record coming up. And we're off in section 3. Eugene Malachavik of Westboro wins from lane 5. Final section of the boys 55-meter dash is Felipe Gonzalez of Marlboro, Khalil Mater of Olive Ames, Brian Santos, Shepherd Hill, Ore Ojo, returning champion from Catholic Memorial, Shane Norton of Billerica, Christian Ajar of Hingham, and Stephen Polanco of Greater Lawrence Tech. Final section, boys 55-meter dash. Sharon Boys coach being called to the infield, never a good thing. Tim Semino being summoned. Final heat here. That's Ore Ojo being challenged. Ore Ojo takes it, but Brian Santos of Shepherd Hill was not too far behind him. Gave him a little bit of a push there. We'll see if we have some final heat sheets for you. It does not look like I'm going to have those up for you. That was 6.69 for Ojo out of that prelim, so he's certainly going to have a good start and run well to even give Smith Charles a run. All the finals coming up for you here. Oval, 1 mile girls will start around 11:30, maybe a bit after. Followed by the boys. Certainly going to be Jonathan Schultz in here of Attleboro. Isaiah Powers of Westboro. Britt Befang. Thomas Huber of Marblehead. Matt Tarantino of North Attleboro. So a few North Attleboro athletes in here. All important team points at stake. And that may have been Jonathan Schultz for the upset win.
Boys dash, please. Finalists to the area: Victor Kuchevich, Winchester, Joe Doherty, Marblehead, Brian Sanders.
Not an upset. He was the top seed and finished 6th last year. We'll see where Matt Tarantino finished to see how many points North Attleboro was able to put together there.
Roman Fratasio, Pembroke, and Sharikian Silver Lake. Those boys dash finalists to the blue pit.
Girls 55-meter hurdle. Final coming up here.
Lane 1, Maggie Allen, Huntington. Lane 2, Sabrina Howard, North Attleboro. Lane 3, Elizabeth Lee of Sharon. Lane 4, Leanne Kibbe of Milford. Lane 5, Christina Spiliakis of Milford. Spiliakis ran the 6th fastest time.
And that was Schultz in first, followed by Powers and Tarantino third for North Attleboro. So they pick up a big 16 points to start this meet. It's going to be important for them down the line as they battle Pembroke. Final is off. Clean start. And that is your number 2 seed, Christina Spiliakos of Milford, for the win.
Next up, finals of the girls 55. Lane 1, Ashley Donnelly of Huntington. Lane 2, Julia Mastrio, Minichard Regional. Lane 3, Lily Weatherby, North Attleboro. Lane 4, Vanessa Ibrahim, North Attleboro.
Kibbe finishes 2nd. So Milford 1-2 punch there. Gets 18 points to start the day. Kind of a surprise. Holloran from Hopkinton, the returning champion, back in 4th. Girls milers coming out right now. We're off here in the final. Sharon looking for big points. And that's a tight, tight finish.
Augusta was third last year. In the boys dash, Victor Winchester in 1, Joe Doherty, Marblehead in 2, Ryan Santos, Shepherdville in 3, Eugene Naliskevich, Westboro in 4, Smith Charles, Milton in 5.
Barhans wins in 7-2-9, just edging out Wallace of Sharon. Weatherby in third. Last final, boys 55-meter dash here on the infield. Smith Charles, your favorite, Ore Ojos. Going to see if he can give him any bit of a challenge. Kind of a slow start for Smith Charles there, but he closes well. Looks like he just holds on for it after a slow start. So not sure that's going to be enough for a meet record today, but the win nonetheless.
This is the first call for the boys 1 mile run.
My heat sheet says that it's one section of 23 athletes here for the girls, but it certainly is not going to be the case. Looks like it's going to be 13 and 13, or 13 and 10 maybe. 13 in the unseeded heat and maybe 10 in the seeded heat.
In second place, Isaiah Towers, Westboro, 780. And the winner of the boys, 55-meter hurdles, this is Jonathan Schultz, North Attleboro, 779. Schultz is number 6 in the state.
All right, girls unseeded mile.
Next up will be the girls 55-meter hurdle.
Looks like it's 12 out here on the track right now. Charles was your winner in 6.52, so no meet win. Do my best with no heat sheets for this mile to let you know who's in here.
In 6th place, Sabrina Howard, North Attleboro, 8.90. In 5th place, Elizabeth Lee, Sharon, 8.86.
Looks like it's Olivia Jones, the 9th grader from Hopkinton, Elizabeth Hopkinton of Westboro, Emily Vivanco of Noshoba.
In 3rd place, Janie Johnson, Sharon, 8.73.
Bunched up here through the first 200. Sarah Tomey of Pembroke, Devin Veitz of Tewksbury, Olivia Kilcott of Pembroke, Grace Sullivan of Milton, Danielle Sullivan of Billerica, Caitlin Neary, Bishop Feen, Sophia Aruda of Bishop Feen, Attleboro, and Kaylee Mace, the sophomore from Billerica. So we're all bunched up here early on. We talk about a lot in these unseeded heats. If they want any chance of placing in the top 8, they really need to push the pace from the beginning. Take some risks. There's no harm in going after it and failing in these unseeded heats, but you do want to give it a good run. 2 Pembroke athletes have taken the pacing duties. Looks to be Sarah Tormey and Olivia Kilcott. So I'm sure Coach Zapati told them from the beginning that we need to make sure we get after it, even if we have to work together up front. Everybody's still there early in the race. Seems like it may be a little bit of a slow pace, so maybe we'll see things heat up once we get halfway through this thing.
In the water is the girls, 55 meters. In 8th place, Avonia Hebert, Sharon, 765. In 7th place, Ashley Johnson.
Getting bunched up. Girls are trying to get out of the mix. That looks like it is Hopkinton's Olivia Jones, the 9th grader. takes over.
In fifth place, Julian Mastrio.
May have sensed that the pace was slowing a little bit.
In fourth place, Vanessa Ibrahim, North Attleboro, 7:45.
Certainly a surprise in that 55-meter dash final. Ore Ojo, the returning champion, finishing back in fourth. It was a tight finish, blanket finish at the end. We're right on 5:20 pace here. Hopkinton athlete, like I said. Olivia Jones, just a 9th grader, has taken over and really spread this thing out. All strung out here after 800 meters. And it's all about time now. Can't stress that enough from these unseeded heats. Might as well have stayed home if you're not going to get after it and take a risk.
And the boys 55.
I believe that's Emily Vivanco of Neshoba that now leads this race. Olivia Jones of Hopkinton falling off a little bit, trying to hang on. Coming up on 2 laps to go.
In fifth place from Shepherd Hill Regional, Brian Santos, 6.64. In fourth place from Catholic Memorial, Ori Ojo, 6.63. In third place from Marblehead, Joe Doherty, 6.63.
2 laps to go for Emily Vivanco, the senior of Neshoba. Freshman from Hopkinton, Olivia Jones, trying to get back in it. Second to last lap here. Going to be coming up on the bell lap. Hopefully we have bells for each final lap here. A couple hiccups in the past where we forget the bell. Never ideal. And it's going to be Vivanco and Jones heading to this final lap. The rest of the pack actually moving up a little bit. See what these ladies have in the tank here. We get a bell. Vivanco, Jones, the freshman from Hopkinton, makes the pass. Can Vivanco from Neshoba respond? Doesn't look like it. It's all the freshmen from Olivia Jones on the backstretch. Now it's really about that time, what she can close this last 100 in. Olivia Jones, freshman from Hopkinton, came in with a PR of 5:32.90. She's certainly going to be well ahead of that. It's going to run a pretty quick time here in the unseeded heat of the girls' mile. And she's your winner in about 5:22, Olivia Jones of Hopkinton. Late charge by Jackie Harrington of Hingham. We're going to have some familiar names here in this girls' mile. With the Lyman shakeup, there's only one returner from last year's mile, and that's Caroline McGrath of Walpole. She finished 3rd here last year. In this seeded heat of the girls' mile is Shylar Gooley of Hopkinton, Eliza O'Donnell of Milton, Rebecca James, Shepherd Hill, Rachel Sessa of Tewksbury, Genevieve Conley of Milton, Caroline Johans of Hingham, Caroline McGrath of Walpole, Jane Stillwell, Hopkinton, Nicole Norv of Whitman Hanson, Allie Coyle, Pembroke, Liz Peckham of Oliver Ames. Rachel Sessa and Rebecca James, your most well-known athletes in this mile, and that's Rebecca James of Shepherd Hill, followed by Sessa. What you would expect. continues to be Rebecca James of Shepherd Hill. Had a sensational cross-country season. Sessa, no slouch, right on her shoulder. Hingham's Caroline Johannes has had quite the season already. She comes in with a 520, looks to improve that. Another Milton athlete. 2 Milton athletes, Eliza O'Donnell and Genevieve Conley. Not the most well-known Milton athlete names, but certainly 2 that look to mix it up in that front pack right now. Shyla Gooley is your #1 seed, the sophomore from Hopkinton with 513.
And Rachel Sessa of Tewksbury.
Rebecca James continues to set the pace. Sessa in second. Looks like it's Sarah Burns of Bill Ricca. I'm sorry, Shyler Gooley of Hopkinton, your #1 seed, sits in third right now. Certainly okay with laying back early on. Caroline Johannes of Hingham in fourth. Looks like she's getting antsy. She might be moving up to third here. And we are quick. We are 2:33 through the 800, so that's 5 girls still in this on 5:03 pace. So we'll see how some of those girls react to that quick pace by Rebecca James. You would certainly think Sessa has it in her, but this is well ahead of all these girls' PRs outside of Rebecca James and Sessa. So we'll see how Gooley hangs on, how Johannes hangs on. Looks like it might be 4 girls. Those are the 4 girls that may be breaking away. Milton's Genevieve Conley starting to have trouble holding on.
Rebecca James.
But this pace is no joke right now. 3:13 through 1,000. Rebecca James, Sessa, Gooley, Johannes, top 4. We are going to see some monster PRs out of these 4 girls if they can hold on for a few more laps. Rebecca James doing a lot of the pacing right here, so it'll be interesting to see what she has on the remaining laps. You do waste a little bit of energy leading the race. You got to imagine Sessa at some point is going to try and make a move here, and it's Gooley. Gooley's going to make a move to the front with 2 laps to go. The #1 seed, Sessa's going to follow her. Let's see if Rebecca James can respond. Johannes, Caroline Johannes of Hingham is going nowhere, just a junior. All 4 are ready for this. Gooley made that move, but all 3 girls made a response to it. We're going to have some fireworks going to this lap, people. Not one girl wavering after that move by Gooley. Now it might be Sessa's turn to make her move down this straightaway. And Sessa does. Sessa makes her move on the bell lap. Sessa, Gooley, James, Johannes, strung out a little bit. Can anybody respond to Sessa's hard move here going to the final 200? It doesn't look like it. Sessa's powering down that backstretch. Gooley trying to make way. James, Johannes. Looks like it's going to be Sessa here. Gooley making a hard push. James, who did all the early pace work, in third. Johannes trying to hold on. We're going to have some big PRs by all 4 of these girls. That's Sessa in 5:05 for the win. Gooley 5:06. James 5:08. And Johannes an 11-second PR, 5:11, 9-second PR. Quite the race by all 4 ladies here. Sessa gets some big points for Tewksbury. Great way to start the day on the oval. A 33.5 last 200 for Sessa. We're going to have 2 sections of the boys' mile here. 13 in the unseeded and 13 in the seeded.
This is the first call for the girls, 600-meter run. All right, your mark.
First section of the boys' 1 mile run, Alexander Stavakto of Sharon, Christopher Berthrong of Milford, James Kong, Sharon, Ryan Medeiros of Bishop Feen, Matthew Gard of Shepherd Hill, Ben Ryax of Dartmouth, Rory McLaughlin, Oliver Ames, Yichi Zhang from Sharon, Connor Sullivan, Pembroke, Kyle Fabrizio, Pembroke, Keith Brash, Pembroke, Patrick Brown of Malden Catholic, and Robert McAnnis of Oliver Ames. Just looking at seed times, it would be very difficult for one of these athletes to sneak into the top 8. Alexander Starvoitov has a 450 of Sharon. He's your top seed, so we'll see what happens here. Looks like these boys are going to be right around 440 pace coming through this first 400. Shade under 70. All 3 Pembroke athletes leading this charge here. All coming in with 456 or 457 PRs. Connor Sullivan, just a sophomore. Fabrizio and Brash, both seniors. We're seeing some good old-fashioned pack running going on in this opening 600 of the 1 mile unseeded run. That's Keith Brash of Pembroke, was just passed by Christopher Thong of Milford, the junior. His pace is starting to heat up here a little bit. Dartmouth's Ben Ryax has moved up to 4th. Continues to be Christopher Berthong of Milford. Ben Ryax is trying to make a move to move up to 2nd. A couple Pembroke athletes in his way. Bunching up a little bit here on the backstretch. Ryax has made his way to 2nd. As it slows up here a little bit, Ryax swings off to the outside. 3:38 through 1200. And that is Christopher Berthong. Goes back to the front. Ryax counters that move. Looks like Ryax is going to go back to the front, so Berthong and Ryax keep flip-flopping on the lead. 4:15 at the bell lap. Looking if we can see if we have a sub 450 here. Now that's Oliver Ames is Rory McLaughlin, the 10th grader, sitting back the whole race, has now made his way to the front, makes a strong move. Nobody's going to be able to react to that one. It's all Rory McLaughlin, the tall sophomore, down the home stretch. Certainly going to be a PR for him coming in at 4:55. And 4:48 is your winner, Rory McLaughlin of Oliver Ames, followed by Ryax in Berthrom.
And the winner of the girls' mile, Rachel Sesser, 10th grade, 5:05.97.
So no Will Bittridge in the mile here. He was the #1 seed. No returners here. As we talked about, those alignment changes messing things up a bit. In this seeded section of the boys' mile, Liam Monahan, North Attleboro, Joey Forrest of Tewksbury, Alex Wengren of Pembroke, Justin Geiser of Pembroke, Patrick Carlton of Tewksbury Memorial, Derek Pitterino of Westboro, Andrew Morardi of Danvers, Christian Fiora of Midgetchong, Casey Ryan of Tewksbury, Ryan Stockwell, Walpole, Thomas Dinsmore, Bill Ricca, Camden Olette, Dartmouth, and William Coakley, the sophomore from Winchester, is your final guy in here. Quick pace early on, 32 seconds to the opening 200. Stringing the field out. Looks like that's Alex Wengren leading the charge. Content with a hot early pace. Gonna go through in 65. Wengren leading the charge. Joey Forrest right behind him from Tewksbury. Liam Monahan in third. Wengren, Forrest, Monahan, the #1 seed, in third right now. Justin Geiser of Pembroke looking to move up. Wengren continues to lead by himself out in front. Joey Forrest of Tewksbury giving chase. Pace still fairly quick here. Going to be 2:14 through the 800. Forrest has Wengren in his sights. Geiser in third. That's Westboro's Derek Pitterino moving up. We'll see if the field is able to get back in this after that quick early 200 and 400. But Wengren continues to lead. .249 at the 1,000. Wengren, Forrest, Pitterino, Geiser. Wengren continues to hold that same lead he's had the entire time, coming up with 2 laps to go. If any athlete is going to try and get back into it, they need to do it on this lap. Monahan of North Attleboro is starting to feel good. Pitterino, West Bridgewater moving up as well. Things are going to get quick. All the athletes look like they're getting back in this thing, but Wengren continues to lead coming up to the bell lap. See if he can take this thing gun to tape. A lot of guys behind him starting to move up, and that's Geiser, his teammate, moving up to second now. We could have a 1-2 punch here by the Pembroke athletes, which would be huge for their team points. But Monahan's starting to close, the #1 seed coming in. Monahan could steal this thing. He's moving the quickest down the backstretch. Monahan into second. Wengren slowing up. Monahan only getting faster. Monahan slingshotting off the outside. It's going to be Monahan. Wengren responds. Looks like it might just be Monahan right at the line, but Pembroke may go 2-3 for some big points. Once we get those results up on the board, we'll let you know who edged that out. I believe it was Monahan, just barely over Wengren.
Next up, 4 sections in the girls, 600 meters.
This is the first call of the girls 1,000-meter run. Girls 1,000-meter run.
Point your bar. Stand up. Point your bar.
Here we have the girls coach of Minute Jog Regional to the table. Girls coach, Minute Jog Regional to the table.
First section here of the girls' 600-meter run is Rebecca Lally of Stoughton, Abigail Johnson of Westboro, Ashley Massey of Neshoba Regional, Courtney Tong of North Attleboro, and Catherine Howe of Stoughton. That's North Attleboro's Courtney Tong way out in front.
Being represented in 1999 by Miaa High School.
Tong continues to lead on the backstretch.
Is actually a superior mark by Kathleen Stewart, Situate High School, and God, which equals 132.20. And here are the finalists in the girls' long jump. We'd like to get back to the pit. Kate Belcher.
Tong from North Attleboro into the bell lap. Stoughton's Rebecca Lally, or sorry, Catherine Howe of Stoughton, up on her shoulder.
Grace Desmond, Westboro, Zoe Dayton, Hingham, and Allie Corbin of Duxbury. Those girls back to the long jump pit, please.
That's going to be all Rebecca Lally for the win in about 146. Still waiting on to see who won that mile. Girls team results, Sharon with 22, Hopkinton 19, Milford with 18, North Attleboro with 14. So some of the top names.
So, Shep, how's it been going?
We're joined by James Fletcher, who had a little bit of a hiccup on his commute here to the meet. A little fender bender, not his fault. He's okay, made his way in. Now we got
Section 2 of the girls 600.
got my partner in crime back.
So it's Alexis Marcolini in Milford, lane 2. Emma Sharper, Hingham in 3. Elena Kempel from Walpole in 4. Eleanor Ruggiero of Hingham in 5. And Erin White breaking from lane 6. The sophomore from Silver Lake. And that is Marcolini of Milford in the lead through the first lap. A tightly packed bunch here. I'm upset I missed the first action-packed hour of this meet.
Yeah, we had some good mile finishes. We're actually, well, we're going to hear the boys right here. We never saw it up at the top. Girls mile, though, 4 girls under 5'11".
At the bell of this 600, it's Erin White taking that lead in a big way as she powers down the back stretch.
So Alex Wengren did take that win, barely holding on over Liam Monahan. Justin Geyser finished 3rd, so 16 team points for Pembroke there. Joey Forrest and teammate Joey Forrest and teammate Patrick Carlton finished 4-5 for Tewksbury.
Section 3 of the 600 here. Faith Pettengill from Minnetonka, the freshman in lane 2. Jacqueline Mills, Oliver Ames in 3. Savannah Campbell, Walpole in 4. Sydney Diorio, Bill Ricker in 5. And Bella Corsini of Marblehead in 6. And this is Pettengill in the lead. And Diorio. I would only assume that Faith Pettengill is the sister of Grace Pettengill, outstanding 600 runner from Minnetonka as well. That's Diorio from Bill Ricker.
We had a few hiccups with the live stream. Hopefully we're good to go now.
Sydney Diorio wins Section 3 of that girls 600. Now on to the last section. Some fast girls in this one. Putting a real fast freshman. We have Ariadne Tole of Sharon in 1. Caitlin Holleran of Hopkinton in 2. Grace Desmond of Westboro in 3. Rachel Labonte of North Attleboro in 4. Michaela Page, the freshman from Tewksbury, your #1 seed in lane 5. And Emma Sullivan, the sophomore from Shepherd Hill, is in 6. And
Holleran, did you say Holleran's in this?
Yep.
She is your returning champion, but she didn't look good early on in the hurdles, and she doesn't look great here as well.
It looks like the freshman lined up with a KT tape, trying to run away from the sophomore from Shepherd Hill early on, halfway through this race.
Who finished 3rd here last year, so she has a little bit of experience over the freshman, and she's just sitting on her back right now.
Sullivan starts to make a move. Page responds. About 63 seconds to that first quarter mile. 1 lap to go. It's a 2-girl race now. And it's going to be a charge. Page holds her off again. Sullivan makes a move and Page responds one more time and starts to pull away. Michaela Page, the freshman, looks to be out sprinting Emma Sullivan, the sophomore. What a time here, about 134 flat for the freshman from Tewksbury.
All right, first section here of the boys' 600-meter run. Jason Ginn, lane 3 of Dartmouth. Ryan Taylor, lane 4 of Dartmouth. Lane 5, Jacob Messier of Burncoat, Worcester. We've heard that town before in the 600. And lane 6, Dev Parkian of Sharon.
133.93 officially for Page. That will be the #1 seed going into the All-State meet next weekend.
And that's the Sharon athlete, Dev Park of Sharon, moving up. If we're a little out of it today or we say some foolish things, we're on our 5th day straight of track and field meets. It's been a little bit of a grind here, so we'll do our best and bring the most energy we have left. Continues to be the Sharon athlete, Dev Park the senior, out in front. And it will be Park of Sharon at about 130 even.
Even though it's early on, both teams scores. Sharon girls have a slight lead over Hopkinton by 3 points, 22-19. Boys, North Attleboro, 5-point lead over Westboro, 24-19.
Second section here of the boys 600-meter run. Alex Pulaski of Minnetonka, Brock Doobie of Shepherd Hill, Tristan Arendt of Silver Lake, Young Wang of Hopkinton, and Timothy Barry of Westboro. Section 2 of the boys 600-meter run. So Fletch, a little fender bender this morning. What happened out there?
You know, I was on the highway, which is not when you expect to get rear-ended, and someone decided they wanted to go 70 miles an hour while I was going 65, and
gave you a little bump.
Bumped me a little forward.
Rubbin's racing, as we say.
Yes.
You made it here fine?
I'm good.
All limbs attached?
My car is fine, which is nice.
No.
His is not.
No. Okay, so yours is good, his is not. You've had quite the 24 hours there, Coach Fletcher.
Let's hope my insurance agent is listening to this broadcast.
State Farm? Hopkinton.
Travelers.
Hopkinton, Young Wang to the lead. Followed by Brock Doobie.
Big move in the backstretch.
Big move in the backstretch, I believe, by Westboro's Timothy Barry. That was a total guess in the dark. We'll see if I'm correct. And that does look to be Timothy Barry closing hard down the home stretch, and he's going to take this thing at about 128. Section 3 coming up. We have a Frank Mooney sighting out there officiating.
What an active man he is.
Yeah. All right, Section 3, Patrick Barnes of Hopkinton, Ian Ferreira of Minnetonka, Matthew Zeimer of Tewksbury, Andrew Keeley of Hopkinton, and Lance Campbell of Walpole.
In 7th place, Cindy Diorio, Billerica Memorial, 141.55.
It's going to be tight at the break here.
6th place, Ariadne Trolley, Sharon.
That's Walpole's Lance Campbell out in 26 high.
In 5th place,
And by Walpole, I mean Tewksbury's Matthew Zeimer.
39.75.
Orange and red, close enough colors.
4th place, Rachel Levante, North Attleboro.
Everybody keeps switching their uniforms. It's getting confusing out here.
I remember announcing Division III relays, and there were about 4 different colors that all of these schools use combined. So it's tough to figure out what's going on. But
tough to keep track. But that is Matthew Zeimer of Tewksbury, 55 high through the 400. He's being chased by Ian Ferreras from Minnetonka.
She ran the number 2 time in the state and the 12th fastest 600 ever by a Massachusetts girl.
This hard bench and cement wall behind us is not helping my posture by any means. Actually, I guess it's helping my posture, but I'm very sore from it. Minnetonka, Ian Ferreira closing hard, but it looks like Matthew Zeimer is going to hold him off in about 127 high. 2 more sections here to go in the boys 600-meter run. As times start to get faster. 12 more athletes to race, 8 spots score. In this 3rd section, 4th section, Evan Connor of Stoughton, Tristan Delagua of Hingham, Ian Ross, Bishop Ian, Stephen Colleran of Walpole, and Evan Vascolas of Diamond.
And this is heat 4, according to Aguila, Ross, Colleran, and Vascolas.
And almost every guy in this heat has run 127, and every guy in the seeded heat has run 126, so something's got to give. Could be any guy to take down the Division III 600-meter state title.
And as awesome as that is, that's rare. There's always usually a stud in some sort of race. It's nice when it's tightly packed. Sort of the epitome of track and field.
And that's certainly when time can be a huge deal, because these guys are all strung out in this second heat. If it does pack up in that seeded heat and nobody goes to take it, we could have the winner out of this heat.
Stephen Collar and Walpole.
Walpole's Stephen Colleran makes a hard move, just a sophomore.
Collar.
Ian Ross, who's a 1,000 guy, usually ran the 1,000 last year from Bishop Feen, is making his charge. See what the time is here coming through. It's going to be Ian Ross.
Ian Ross, Bishop Field.
Walpole goes down. I believe Ian Ross may have had an injury this season or sickness, because usually he's a 1,000-meter mile guy.
Maybe his base wasn't there, decided to utilize his speed a little bit. An event might be more suited.
So no big names here. We have Griffin Wachowski of North Attleboro, Joe Marwell of Hingham, Kyle Belmonte of Shepherd Hill, Rodney George O'Brien Roxbury. I know Coach H back at home is probably rooting for the Boston guy. And Nathan Pucci, Hopkinton, and who my favorite to win would probably be Sam Omen Lockfeld, stud as a freshman and sophomore. He'd be my pick to win this thing. That's O'Brien's Rodney George to lead. Hopkinton's Nathan Pucci, the senior, takes that from him. 2 Hingham athletes following suit.
This is fast. It's a fast 300, about 39.
And Nathan Pucci trying to make this a one-man race. He has gapped the field a little bit. Rodney George chasing in second. Hingham's Joe Marwell moves to second. Rodney George in third. But right now it is Nathan Pucci from Hopkinton all by himself out in front. And we were looking for someone to kind of set the tone and say, I'm the favorite, and looks like he did just that. Tying up here a little bit, but he gave himself just enough of a lead, and it will be Pucci from Hopkinton in about 123 high, 124 low. What a race by him.
Took it over. Never gave anybody else a chance. Decided it was his. No one else made the same decision.
Next up, 2 sections of the girls, 1,000 meters.
So upcoming, Mr. Marr will start the first of 2 sections of the girls 1,000. In that section, Maria Gegg of Sharon, Sarah Beiklin of Burncoat, Kristen Studel of Westboro, Camille Loguduce of Walpole, Sophie Farrell of Pembroke, Elena Hirschman of Sharon, Fiona Ferrick of Pembroke, Riley DeRosa of Barica, Tess Chilcott of Pembroke, Elizabeth Lane of Hingham, Hannah Sharp of Hingham, and another Hingham girl, Tess Leonard.
So I would imagine it's going to be Maria Gang from Sharon here. She is 4 seconds clear of the next best athlete, Sarah Bulkin of Burncoat Worcester. But once again, looks like it's a Pembroke athlete going out and taking charge. Sophia Farrell of Pembroke.
And that's a fast pace early on in this 1,000. 1,000, a pretty spread out event by looking at the seeds. Sessa going to come back from her mile win and try and run the 1,000. It's been a pretty quick turnaround there. But we will see.
Sophie Farrell of Pembroke, our leader.
It's Farrell Pembroke, but the pack is coming back to her after her strong 2 laps, and it will bunch again. 4 Pembroke athletes in this race. By 4, I mean 2.
We're just making things up so far today.
I believe this is Gig of Sharon to the lead now, or not. No, it is Studel of Westboro taking on pacing duties, followed by Gig of Sharon.
Those maroon uniforms mixing you up there.
I told you. Fastest time in the divisional meets so far this weekend has been 2:49 from Samantha Freiborg of Acton Boxborough.
That's a bell lap. And we thought it was going to be all Sharon here in this unseeded heat of the girls' 1,000.
This is Doodle of Westboro, though.
Has stolen the show.
She's seated at 3:22. She's going to well eclipse that mark.
Yeah, both of the athletes will. 3:13 for Studel for the win, followed by Gig of Sharon. And with those times, you being the girls specialist, girls coach, where does that kind of put them as far as having a chance to place in this seeded heat?
It depends on what happens in how the seed heat goes out. If you look at seeds, they likely will not score. But if this is a fast race, we will see. If it's a tactical race, they might sneak in. And Anderson there from Barica, your second seed, goes out, tries to leave Sessa behind. So it's Rachel Sessa, your mile champ. Nicole Anderson, the sophomore from Billerica. Elise O'Leary of Milton, who's doing the leading now. Josie Cousineau of Milton. Alexander Betts of Neshoba. Ava Duggan of Milton. Heather Linscott of Hingham. Abby Hodges of Oliver Ames. Reed Aldrich of Winchester, who's on O'Leary's shoulder as we come through the first lap.
Yeah, Elise opting to run the 1,000 over the 600.
You have Nicole Norvay of Whitman Hanson, Laura Fetterspiel of Pembroke, Tess Whalen of Marblehead, and Molly Egan of Winchester, your 13 athletes in this seeded section. Sessa coming with a top seed time of 2:55 flat, but has already run the mile today and won. So we'll see how much she has. So Leary, Anderson, and Sessa in that top group. No surprise there as you come through the first quarter mile.
And it certainly wasn't a coasting effort for Sessa in that mile. So it's surprising to see her go take the lead here. You got to think O'Leary with that 600, 400 meter speed, may even run the 400 hurdles. Am I correct there?
Yep.
She has that closing speed. So I'd be surprised if Sessa, I can see what she's doing. She's trying to make space now so she has some wiggle room, but I don't think O'Leary's going anywhere.
It's tough to shake the shadow of someone fresh like her. We're going to hit this 600 in about 148. Anderson falls off that top pack.
And O'Leary has fallen off the pace a little bit by Sessa, so this is going to be interesting. Sessa powering down that backstretch.
And it's going to get fast here.
O'Leary's starting to move to try and get back in it. It was never too far off. We'll see when she tries to make a move on Sessa. See if she's patient here around this first turn.
2:23 through the 8.
I mean, even 8 points for Tewksbury here would be big. Milton looking for 10. It's unbelievable that Sessa even has this much left in her legs because this isn't going to be slow. O'Leary makes a hard pass before the last turn.
Sessa hanging on, though. Not really letting her go, and is coming back.
Holy smokes.
This is going to be a good finish, guys. Big power down the backstretch. Home stretch. Oh! About 2:55. I don't know who won it.
How in the world did Sessa have it in her to come back from the mile to run 2:55?
This is the last and final call.
Gonna have to wait to see
This is the first call for the boys.
who took that. Too close to call.
What a race.
For the boys, 600 meters. In 8th place, Sam Owen Montreal Hingham, 127.50. In 7th place, Griffin Wachowski.
Two sections here coming up in the boys' 1,000. 14 in the first, 11 in the second. Maybe the boys' race of the day. A lot of athletes out there for 1,000, a lot of bumping and grinding. Sean Stairs, Bill Ricca, Colton Kappa of Pembroke, Sean Flaherty, Oliver Ames, my guy Sean Dykens from O'Brien, Christopher Tilton from Silver Lake, Cole Radke, Pembroke, Brendan Moran of Dartmouth, Colin Rahaman of Stoughton, Cameron Anderson of Pembroke, Jeremy Hilton, Danvers, Nate Burns, Winchester, Grant Fawcett, Sharon, Will Eckerd, Stoughton, and Noah Derrick of Dartmouth. 14 athletes. It's important to get out here in 1,000 with this many guys if you're looking to run fast. As the other heats, it's all Pembroke guys up front. 3 in the top 5. And it was O'Leary edging Sessa 255 to 255. Impressive 18 points by Sessa already. O'Leary gets a huge 10 for her team.
I'd suspect we'll see Miss Sessa in that 4x8 later on.
Which is wild. I can't even think about 3 events. And that is Cameron Anderson of Pembroke out in front. His teammate just made a hard move, which could be Colton Kappa. Well, Pembroke has the top 3 athletes right now coming up on 600 meters. Pembroke, Pembroke, Pembroke. Silver Lake's Christopher Tilton, the sophomore, trying to keep pace with the 3 Pembroke athletes. .209 at the bell lap, and it's all Pembroke here. These 3 athletes running fairly quick right now, considering what their seed times are.
Yeah, definitely working together to kind of get that big personal best. And
well, if this, you never know how the seed heat goes. We saw that mile yesterday in the boys Division II meet, how it slowed to a crawl and ended up being a kicker's race, and times weren't that quick. We'll see how this plays out here. 241, 242, 244 for the Pembroke athletes. And what I think may end up being the race of the day, this boys 1,000-meter run. Your number 1 seed, Jason Winvogel of Oliver Ames, comes in with a 2:35. Joseph Van Madden opted out of that 600, who would have maybe been the favorite to run the 1,000. Will Bittridge was the favorite in the mile. So a couple athletes were that favorites in other events have chose to run the mile. Jack Ryan of Whitman Hanson, Shane Grant of Walpole, Christopher Spellman of Pembroke, Evan Goddard of Hingham, Sean Karov of Walpole, Cale McEachran of Hopkinton, Tyler Zanini of Hopkinton, and Ronan Devlin of Bishop Fien. So it is quick early, about 31 seconds through the first 200. That's the Pembroke athlete. We've seen that theme of the day, the Pembroke boys going straight to the front as well as the girls. We're about 5 or 6 athletes all bunched up. So it is quick, and they're all still fighting for position, which is interesting. That looks like it's Winvogel of Oliver Ames has had enough of sitting in the pack. He wants to get clear of all that.
And this has been about 400 meters of pure jockeying for position.
And that's back. In front is Spellman of Pembroke. Bittridge starting to move up of Duxbury. Grant still there of Walpole. turned into a 7-man race. So maybe one of the Pembroke athletes may jump in an 8th place spot to gain 1 point from the other heat. Joseph Madden to Milford, I mentioned, was a top seed in the 600. He's up there. Hingham's Evan Goddard up there as well, and we are 4 across. Walpole's Grant now moves to the front. Milford's Madden. We're going to have the pace isn't slow, and all these guys are biting at the bit to take that lead and get position going into the final lap. This is anybody's race right now, and that's a hard move by Madden from Milford.
And we have an 8th runner moving up into that pack. It's about 8 athletes separated by less than a second right now.
And now Bittridge from Duxbury has moved into second. This is going to be interesting. They are 2:05 high at the bell lap. Madden, Bittridge, Spellman, Grant. Looks like Bittridge is climbing up in there. Looks like he is poised to make a hard move on this final turn. Looks like Bittridge is going to steal this thing. Madden made a good move early, but Bittridge times it right. Wins this thing in 2:35, 2:36 for Madden. Winvogel, your favorite, back in 4th or 5th.
What a race. You weren't wrong about that being a really entertaining one, Shep. Next event on the track is the 300 meter. Girls go before boys. 6 sections of girls. In this first section, Sam Schultz of Tewksbury in 3, Emma Mumby of Westboro in 4, Katie Famlighetti of Tewksbury in 5, and Bridget Smith of Pembroke in 6. The 4 athletes in this first of 6 sections of the girls' 300 meter. Fighting to the break, fairly even. Everyone's still in it. And that's Emma Mumby of Westboro taking that one. Section 2. Erin Sheen of Pembroke in 3. Caroline O'Connell of Milton in 4. Elizabeth Nuss of Oliver Ames in 5. And Charlotte Carrero of Dartmouth in 6. Carrero out fast, trying to get to the break before her opponents. But it's tough to do from lane 6, and people accelerate in the inside. Although very, very close to the break. It is Carrero. The junior from Dartmouth putting a little bit of separation on the field here in section 2. Powering down that home stretch. And she'll take it. Section 3 underway. Samantha Goodman of Pembroke in 2. Emily Claflin of Pembroke in 3. Carly Tassini of Neshoba in 4. Bella Gonzalez of Milford in 5. And Erica Larkin, the junior from Bishop Ian, occupies lane 6. Looks like Miss Gonzalez of Milford did not start this race. So 4 athletes instead of the assigned 5 in this heat.
Girls team updates. Tewksbury with 28, Sharon with 25, Hopkinton with 25, North Attleboro 19, and Milton with 18 in 5th.
Good battle now. It's Claflin of Pembroke.
Men's team updates. North Attleboro 26, West Bridgewater 19, Pembroke 18. So Westboro is a surprise team so far in the team mix for the men.
Still early, but points count. Morgan Roan of Westboro in 2. Celia Walsh of Walpole in 3. Elizabeth Rapole, Winchester in 4. Lily Gregory of Marblehead in 5. And Tatum Pecci of Tewksbury in 6. This is Pecci of Tewksbury. We'll take this section.
If you do have feedback for us about our site or our live streaming, please don't call us out on Twitter. Please either DM us or send an email. Looking at you, S.
Section 5 of the girls 300. Alexis Hasbrook of Hopkinton in 2. Lindy Statlander of Hingham in 3. Carolina Steller of Hopkinton in 4. Avonia Herbert of Sharon in 5. And Kerry O'Connor, this freshman from Milford, in lane 6. Some of these athletes will score as we start to get faster here. The last heat was won 42.58, a fast time from 2 sections out of seeded, and this is going to be a close one to finish. Big power here, and that's the athlete from Sharon. That's Herbert from Sharon, taking that 5th of 6 sections. Seeded heat upcoming. We have San Maffeo of Billricker in 2. Jada Dillon of Milton in 3. Anna Madden of Winchester in 4. Madison Marsh of Shepherd Hill in 5. And Veronica Wallace of Sharon in 6. This is Milton. Jada Dillon of Milton is going to take this one. Then followed by Marsh of Shepherd Hill.
So possibly some points out of the unseeded heat for Milton there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that the seeded heat?
That was the seeded section.
Smokes.
Yeah, that's a big 10 points for Milton.
Sharon was missing one of their athletes there, so that's going to be some points. Or is that her that finished 5th there?
She finished 5th, but she also won the unseeded, so I'm sure Sharon will get some points from
both those girls
as well. Yeah,
yep.
Looks like.
All right, here in section 1 of the boys 300-meter dash, Jamarly Cameron of Milton, Matthew Missa of Burncoat, Harry Hull of Hingham, and Nathan Fry of Malton Catholic. Hingham with a big fan following over to our left, getting rowdy for every one of their athletes. Looks like it's Malden Catholic's Nathan Fry in the lead right now, but Harry Hull of Hingham, just the junior, swinging off the outside, powering home, holding his form. Harry Hull for the heat win in 38 high. The fans love it. Second section. Javon Gonzalez of Minichog, Aaron McDonald, Oliver Ames, Nicholas LeConte from Burncoat, Devin Kelly from Hopkinton, LeContour of Burncoat. And that is LeContour of Burncoat. Out in lane 5, gets to the turn first. Oliver Ames, Aaron McDonald moves into second. Looks like it's going to be LeContour and McDonald off the turn. Final home straight. Your heat winner is going to be Aaron McDonald of Oliver Ames. 5 sections of this 300-meter dash. Rodrigo Freitas, lane 2, Billrica. Joe Cronin of Marblehead, lane 3. Ryan Setzline of Hingham, lane 4. Chris Borge of Bishop Feion. And Andrew Ark of Winchester. Ryan Schutzling of Hingham out in front. Followed by Chris Borge of Bishop Ian. That's going to be Borge off the turn, moving into first. Schutzling of Hingham tries to respond, just a sophomore. And that's Borge in about 37.6. Here we come to the time where you can see some guys steal the show out of the unseeded heat. These next 12 athletes, or next 10 athletes, excuse me, have all run 37.4 to 36.2, so almost all just a second apart. Stephen Harris of Billerica, Matt Zawoski of Bishop Ian, Ethan Safarin of Neshoba, Richie Laguerre of Stoughton, and Anthony Spaganisi of Danvers. That's Richie Laguerre of Stoughton. Looks to get to the turn first. Matt Zawoski of Bishop Ian, giving him fight. All bunched up. Richie Laguerre of Stoughton is going to get to the final home straight first. See if anybody can come up on his side. And it looks like it is Richie Laguerre for the heat win. 37 high. So only 0.2 is going to separate all 5 athletes in this final. So this could literally be anybody's race. You have Jonathan Schultz that already won the hurdles. Jack O'Mara from Walpole. Christian Puleselli of Pembroke. Christian Denny of Catholic Memorial. And Lucas Roberts of Shepherd Hill. Denny was second here last year, so he is the #1 returner. And as I say that, he's not in this race. So it's 4 guys in this heat. Opens it up here a little bit. That's going to be Jack. Nope, that's going to be Lucas Roberts getting to the break first. Puleselli of Pembroke. Huge 10 points on the line. He makes a move. It's going to be Roberts, Puleselli. And it looks like it's going to be Puleselli from Pembroke with the win. Big 10 points.
Close race like we thought.
Can we have the Catholic Memorial coach, please? Catholic Memorial coach to the table.
2 mile time.
2 mile time. 2 sections of the girls' 2 mile. Wonder if the Catholic Memorial coach is being called to the table for a question as to why his athlete did not start the 300. Us being enforcers of the honest effort rule.
Only 1 returner from this D3 2 mile from last year. Like the alignments, some of these girls could have finished well in their other divisions last year, but it's Gabrielle Lawrence of Shepherd Hill. She finished second, so she's the top returner on paper.
Also an outstanding cross-country runner for Shepherd Hill.
That'll be up in the next heat.
11 athletes in each section. And as Heat 1 is underway, it will feature Paige Ashley of Hingham, Anna Kokoris of Milton, Maddie Milder of Hingham, Grace Dwyer of Milton, Caroline Johnson of Marblehead, Elizabeth Reynolds of Winchester, Olivia Timbone of Oliver Ames, Anna Morrison of Sharon, Gabriella Chong of Milford, Meg Goldstein of Hingham, and Elena Boxerman of Sharon. So there's 11 athletes separated by about 35 seconds.
See if I can get you some team updates here. And we do. Sharon has now taken the lead, 41 points. Milford, 36. Tewksbury, 32. And Milton, 28. And Hopkinton not too far behind with 26. So all the teams we mentioned, I hope we mentioned Milford because they're right in there. Men's team update. Pembroke is now in the lead with 35. North Attleboro, 32. Westboro has fallen back to third with 19. Shepherd Hill, 19. So like we talked about in the previews and earlier today, Pembroke and North Attleboro look to battle down the stretch. We know there's going to be important points on the line for North Attleboro in that high jump where they have two of the top guys.
Should be fun coming down to the relays.
Pembroke has that, Pembroke has that relay depth. North Attleboro will look to counter. Bresco and Tarantino are the number 2 and number 4 seeds in the high jump, but high jump anything can happen. You would think Smith Charles would have the 10 points locked up, but Mario Bresco does come in with the same 6'6" jump, and he's the number 1 returner from D3. Smith Charles, number 1 returner from D4. Pembroke with no high jumpers. So big event for North Attleboro in the high jump. We'll try and keep you posted.
Picking up points where you can. The 2 Hingham athletes, Paige Ashley and Maddie Mildrum. 1 and 3. Hingham 1-2 in this unseeded section.
Here we go, boys, 300 meters. In 8th place, Chris Boys, Bishop Bean, 37.51. In 7th place, Anthony Spignisi, Danvers, 37.35. In 6th place, Matt Tawaski, Bishop Bean, 37.32. In 5th place, Jack O'Mara, Walpole, 37.11. In 4th place, Richard Blair, Stoughton,
Still the 2 Hingham athletes leading.
In 3rd place, he won the hurdles earlier today.
Although the pack is coming back to them.
36.94.
As they approach 1,000 meters.
Roberts, Sheffield Regional, 36.69. And the winner of the boys 300, a junior from Pembroke. This is Kristen Caselli, 36.58. Men's team scores now. Pembroke 35, North Attleboro 32.
Now this is Olivia Timone, Volver Ames taking the lead after 1,000 meters of that first heat of the girls 2 mile. Eleven athletes supposed to start. I only see 9 left in the race. Still, the senior of Oliver Ames, Timone, in the lead and putting a decent gap on her opponents.
Could we have the girls long jumpers? Kimmy, Johnson, Matt, O'Connor, Desmond, Spiliakos, Danton, and Corcoran.
This is the first
Jumpers, please.
This is the first call for the boys 2 mile run. First call for the boys 2 mile run.
1 lap until the mile. And it's Timone of Oliver Ames still in the lead, trying to put some distance between her and the rest of the field. Sharon currently in the lead on the girls' side. A narrow 5 points over Milford and 9 on Tewksbury. This one will be a close one. You know, Milton, Milford, and Tewksbury have those relays. I'm not saying Sharon does not. And through the mile, about 6 minutes. So Timbone comes in with a 12:51 seed time. Just ran a 6-minute first mile. She'd hold that pace, that would be a 50-second improvement on her seed time on the season. I've seen crazier things happen. And this field is starting to get a little bit more spread out. I believe 11 athletes started the race, but only 9 are still in it. Timbone. I believe the two ladies from Sharon are the two ladies who are not in the 2 mile. We'll see what happened there. Men's scores, Pembroke with a 3-point lead over North Attleboro, 35-32. And they put some distance in the rest of the pack in that respect. So it looks like a 2-horse race moving forward. Still, Timbone, Oliver Ames in the lead, content with doing all the pacing. As the field bunches up a little bit, we're going to see a new leader.
All right, I'm back. Anything exciting going on here?
Yeah, so
I got us some Starburst to get us through the rest of the day. Like we talked about, day 5, we're running on fumes here. But we're always excited to bring you guys all the action for divisional meets. We'll be back next week for the All-State meet, which is exciting. We didn't have the rights to that at first, but now it's going to be all Bay State running. So if you can't make the All-State meet next week, we'll have the live stream with, certainly seems like there'll be some exciting races on hand.
absolutely. I think the way that the seeds have worked out from the previous 4 divisions and then into this one set up some good races. Some we necessarily didn't expect, but should have some good competitive events next week at the All-State meet. This is the freshman from Marblehead, Caroline Johnson, leading this 2 mile now. Heading into 3 laps to go. Timbone, the senior from Oliver Ames, still in second. She did a lot of the leading early on. But the freshman putting some distance. On the field. 2 laps to go, 400 meters for the freshman from Marblehead, Caroline Johnson, seated at 12:31. She closes about the same pace. She'll be faster than that. about 50 meters from the bell.
We'll try and keep you updated with the high jump. The girls are far away from us, so we'll try and keep you updated with Zoe Dayton and where she is.
Johnson, freshman from Marblehead. The big lead at the bell. And the pack of Hingham and Milton start to close. On second base, Tim Bone from Oliver Ames. (12-11). Winning that unseeded section for the girls. A big kick here, the finish. And Timbone, 12-19. Very excited with her performance. See the 12-51. That's a pretty good improvement.
And here are the results of the girls' shot put. In 8th place, Cornella Ivane from Milton, 35 feet, even. In 7th place, from Silver Lake Regional, Madeline Schlager, 35 feet, 1.5. In 6th place, from Bishop Green, Jessica Reese, 35 feet, 3 inches. In 5th
A lot of red uniforms here in this Division III meet. Makes it really difficult.
Absolutely. Section 2 now underway for the girls 2 mile. This is that seeded section. Hannah Doherty, the sophomore from Bill Ricca, is your top seed. Runner-up in the freshman sophomore 2 mile earlier this year. This is Ella Aldrich from Winchester, the sophomore, leading at the moment. The heat also features, like I mentioned before, other than Doherty and Eldridge, we have Genevieve Connolly of Milton. We have Sarah Burns of Billerica. We have Sarah Tierney of Walpole, Marga Murphy of Hingham, Emma Shue of Milton, Emma Whitehead of Shepherd Hill. Deirdre Anderson of Billerica, and Martina Amerio of Hopkinton.
That's why I shouldn't touch any of the electronics that we have. Because thought I just stopped the whole live stream. That wouldn't have been good.
No, we're good. We're still here, I hope.
Starburst, Fletch?
I would love one. I'll take the lemon.
Who goes lemon? That's wild. That's ludicrous.
I'm trying to be cordial.
Eat the bad ones?
Oh,
always go red or pink.
I don't like red. Red's my least favorite.
That's wild. That's a wild, maybe the most wild statement you've made all weekend.
Tight pack from 600 meters up front. Shep making everyone happy up here.
Starburst for everyone. A little energy boost we needed.
Mm-hmm. Lead is Emma Whitehead of Shepherd Hill in the lead. That first 800 in about 2:45.
Even with this meet not finished yet, what are you most looking forward to next week outside your own team?
Before I answer that question, I'm going to say that's Gabrielle Lawrence, Shepherd Hill. Wrong Shepherd Hill athlete I mentioned, but in the lead. I think the 4x2 will be fast for the boys. I'm also interested to see the girls' 1,000. I think there's going to be 7 or 8 seeds under 3 minutes in that seeded section next week, which should prove to be fast. And other than Freiburg, who's the clear favorite to win, I think there's a lot of athletes who could contend for that second place spot. So that should be interesting as well. Always going to look for the infield events. I think the boys and girls dash will be very competitive. Some clear favorites to win, but again, it's not easy to stack up from 1 to 8 as it has been in years past. So those races will be competitive as well. What about you? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that girls' mile, if Sarah Rothman decides to run the mile, I think Sarah Rothman versus Lucy Jenks, and you could probably add anyone else in there.
So Rothman, Jenks, if Sessa opts for the mile next week and she's fresh, Maggie Donahue of Wellesley has gone sub-5 before. She'll be in that race.
She would be fresh if she ran the mile. It's the first event.
Correct.
Yeah,
that is true. If she chooses the mile, rather.
I mean, Rothman showed that crazy triple that she did, the mile, 1,000, 2 miles. She's obviously not going to do all 3 at the All-State meet. But I'd really like to see her give a sub-5 push, and Lucy Jenks comes in, 4:57 on the year. So obviously the big letdown last week, or yesterday, no Grace Conley. So that opens things up for everybody.
Yeah.
On the boys' side, anything Ryan Osting runs, you know, we'll see if anybody's able to give him a push in anything. You know, Sheldren just eked out the win in the Division I mile, but you would expect that he has more in the tank. We should see a sub 230,000 out of the boys. Will Miaa bounce back next week? Disappointing 2 mile for him. This is broken up into a 4-goal race right now.
Yeah, definitely. Doherty and Lawrence up front, with Anderson and Connolly starting to fall back a little bit. But this is fast. That's Doherty, the sophomore, up in front. 7 laps to go.
Once again, one of my only things I get kind of frustrated out. You have both 2 miles for the boys out here right now. That means that seed heat of the boys 2 miles is going to be standing there
about 20 minutes.
For about 20 minutes. When they could be in the gym, moving around, staying loose. There's no reason to bring them out this early.
No, not at all. And the problem is, it's not equitable. If everybody was out here 20 minutes before the race, it's not ideal, but it's fair. When there's one heat that's punished, that's when it becomes questionable. And this is Hannah Doherty, the sophomore from Billerica, starting to pull away a little bit from the rest of the field. Connolly from Milton giving chase. Or rather, Lawrence of Shepherd Hill. These uniforms, man.
In the girls' high count, Zoe Denny and Hingham will be jumping at 5 feet 9 inches. That's the best in Massachusetts and a new meet record. Denny at 5'9". And this is Hannah Doherty of Billerica, our leader of the 2 mile. Doherty, Lawrence, Hannah Burns of Billerica, Cousineau, and Mario Hopkinton.
So Hannah Doherty, Gabrielle Lawrence, Sarah Burns. Genevieve Connolly. Martina Amaro. Your top 5 in this first of 2 sections of that girls' 2-mile run. 5 laps to go, I believe. Or 4. Four laps to go. Just a half-mile remains. Still, Hannah Doherty. Now it's 4 laps to go, I believe. Official put 4 laps up twice in a row, confusing me.
And I'm sure the athletes as well.
Which allows me to confuse you. So now no one knows what's going on.
Which is typical for an unseeded 2-mile.
One official says 3, one official says 4. I'm just going to not mention how many laps there are left until I hear a bell.
And sometimes you don't hear that bell either.
We've seen that all week long. And here's Hannah Doherty. 2 laps to go, so right the first time around. Gabrielle Lawrence of Shepherd Hill climbing back into this. Sarah Burns trying to hang on and go get her teammate. Here comes the bell, which I think will run this time. There we go. And that's Gabrielle Lawrence just taking off immediately right when she hears that bell.
Right to the arms. And she is flying.
Using that finish. Taking this unseeded section, the seeded section of the girls' 2-mile, and this is going to be fast. She's going to be your champion, although Hannah Doherty's not going to make it easy. Oh, and I think Hannah Doherty won it. I think Lawrence let up a little bit too early at the line, and Hannah Doherty is going to sneak in there and take that win. That's one that Gabrielle Lawrence is going to wish she had back. We see it time and time again, and it's no one's fault, but finishing through that line, whether it's a 55-meter or whether it's a 2-mile, it's important.
See 2 North Attleboro athletes still left in this high jump. Actually might be 3 North Attleboro athletes.
It's a lot of points.
Women's team update: Sharon 47, Tewksbury 42, Milford 38, Milton 33. Something you don't see too often, a double gun in the boys 2-mile. See what my man Tommy has to say about all this.
Yesterday in Division 2 meet, there were 7 double guns, none of which resulted in disqualification.
We just had an athlete clear the bar, and his fan club went wild. Boys unseeded 2 mile. Shane Barry, Milton. Anthony DeStaro, Milford. Lucas Carey, Milton. Jordan Sachs, the freshman from Sharon. Patrick Murray, Westboro. Brad Forrest, Westboro. Mason Perham of Minnechaug. Jacob Dubbin of Sharon. Scott Ferreira, Woodchester. Gustavo Tizzati of Tewksbury. Andrew Bolin of Shepherd Hill Regional. Sid Harth, Reddy, another freshman from Sharon. And Kyle Sarney, a freshman from Oliver Ames. So, good amount of freshmen and sophomores in this unseeded boys 2 mile. It's Anthony DeStaro of Milford out front early. Milton Shane Barry is out in front.
In 6th place, Emmy Shuey, Milton, 11:53.61. In 7th place, Sarah Tierney, Walpole, 11:51.92. In 4th place, Jean-Pierre Conley, Milton, 11:38.68. In 3rd place, Sarah Burns, Miller Ricker Memorial, 11:30.01. In 2nd place, Gabrielle Lawrence, Sheffield Regional, 11:24.39. And the winner of the girls 2 mile, a sophomore at Miller Ricker. This is Hannah Doherty, 11:24.21. Girls team scores after 9 events. Sharon 47, Tewksbury 42, Milton 41, Miller Ricker 38.
Easy clearance for Smith Charles on the high jump. Shane Barry of Milton comes in here with a 10:33 seat time. He's content with setting the pace up front. See if the pack behind him can try and sneak back in this thing. It is a long race. It's 16 laps. Having a lot of coaches called to the table today. Never a good thing. Maybe the worst feeling as a coach when you hear your name called to the table. Most likely it means a DQ. As we've talked about, it is top 3 from each event that will move on to all states. The next 9 fastest times from all 5 divisions will also punch their ticket to the MIAA All-State meet. Bubble teams are surely either watching the live stream or going to be waiting patiently for results, or impatiently rather, for results later. Continues to be all Shane Berry from Milton up front, with the chase pack about 30 meters behind. Shane Berry, followed by the number 2 seed, Anthony DeStaro from Milton, just a junior. Barry continues to lead here. That chase back has not gotten back into this thing yet. Barry of Milton all by himself in this unseeded 2-mile. Unless something crazy happens, it looks like it's going to be Barry, the winner of the unseeded heat from Milton. It's all about time now, as we've said many times in these unseeded heats. Two to go from Barry from Milton. Starting to move up now is the athlete from 2 athletes from Westboro, Patrick Murray and Brad Forrest. So let's see if they can try and make a hard push on this second to last lap and get back in this thing. Shane Berry, the senior from Milton, coming up on the bell lap. Westboro's Patrick Murray and Brad Forrest giving chase. Pretty impressive race by Shane Barry of Milton. To lead this entire race. It is awarded with a 10:25 PR.
8 seconds faster than run this year. Nice PR. And here are the finalists in the boys' long jump. Paul Stiliakis of Milford, Khalil Natir, Alain, Colby Wilson, Tewksbury Memorial, Omar Jassis, North Attleboro, Matt Tarantino, North Attleboro, Matt Sharigian, Silver Lake, Jaden Falese, Stoughton, Daniel Lopes, Catholic Memorial, and Charles Smith, Hilton. He's already jumped a meet record, 23-4. Charles Smith, meet record already in the long jump. He's in the high jump after he won the dash.
All right, boys, seated section of the 2 mile. Sean Stefaniak, your favorite, Bill Ricca. Joey Forrest coming back after the mile for the double. Alexander Simoneau, Bishop Fian, Jack Khalil, Milford, Brian Belmonte, Shepherd Hill, Andrew Newman of Whitman-Hanson, Sebastian Elmer of Walpole, Alex Brown, Hopkinton, Brian Oram of Marlborough, Liam Breen of Danvers, Jackson Craig of Bishop Fian, Evan Lehman of Hingham, sophomore, and Maxwell Manor, also a sophomore from Milford. Your number 1 seed, Stefaniak, is going to go right to the front here. Stefaniak, Bill Ricca still leading the charge here.
This is the first call for the boys, 4x200-meter relay. First call for the boys, 4x200-meter relay.
All the athletes behind the Bill Ricca Sr. content with letting him lead the charge so far. Everybody just getting in line.
the Sharon Trophy, please, Sharon. Girls go. And it is still Stefanik. And Simino, Bishop Ian right behind him.
Stephanie continues to lead. Simino in second from Bishop Ian.
Boys are jump bars at 6 feet 2 inches. There are about 8 competitors still left. Stefanik, Sebastian Alba, Walpole in the orange. Alexander Simino, Bishop Ian, the white green. Pace has picked up a little bit with Stefanik still the leader.
Nothing has changed here in the boys 2 mile.
Stefanik, Simino, Fian. Khalil, Milford. Newman, Whitman. Del Monte, Sheffield, right about 5:32.
Tight pack up front, Shep.
Yeah, it's been the same thing the whole race. Stefaniak from Billerica leading. Simino from Bishop Ian in the second.
Simino, Ian. Khalil, Milford.
Khalil from Milford in third.
Do they have 5 to go?
Stefaniak. Simino. Khalil. It's been the same all race.
And I believe that was Michael Manfresco or Zanabro. And now moving into the lead, it is Alexander Simino, Bishop Ian. Stefanik, Billerica.
So Simino makes a move. Stefaniak reacts to it, gets right back up on his shoulder.
And that is Charles Smith of Milton.
Let's follow around for the rest of the seated 2 mile. Simino continues to lead for Bishop Ian. Stefaniak, Khalil.
Stefanik, Khalil.
It's turned into a 3-man race. We'll keep that 10:25 in mind from the last heat. Milton athlete, Shane Barry. big clearance there in the high jump. I believe from an Oliver Ames athlete, maybe?
Could be, yeah, black and
Now
orange.
Stefaniak goes back to the front of Bill Ricca. Khalil trying to hold on, fighting. Semino takes a look around, and Stefaniak might have made a move that nobody can counter. Coming up on the bell lap here.
Coming up to 1 to go for these three.
Stefaniak from Bill Ricca. Semino from Bishop Fian. Now Khalil moving into second of Milford. And now they're catching up to Stefaniak. We're going to have quite the finish here. Now Jack Khalil's going, Stefaniak's fighting. We have a two-man battle here. Khalil, Stefaniak, and it looks like Stefaniak holds on for the win in 9:46. What a race. Fourth place for Alex Brown. Joey Forrest comes back for 6 for team points.
As we wrap up the boys 2 mile, next events on the oval will be our relays. Starting off with the 4x2, girls before boys.
This is the first call for the girls, 4x800 meter relay. First call for the girls, 4x800 meter relay.
Girls 4x2 will have 6 sections.
Let's see if I can get you updated. We heard earlier that Smith Charles has already gotten the long jump record.
Wow.
On your mark. Set.
Section 1 of 6 for the girls 4x2. Marlboro in 3, Shepherd Hill in 4, Silver Lake in 5. Marlboro getting that baton first. Way out in front in this section is Marlboro. And they will hand off him first again.
This is the first of 6 sections in the girls 4x200. Meet record of 45.09 by Hingham.
Shepherd Hill closing on Marlboro.
Team scores remain the same for the women. 47 for Sharon, Tewksbury 42, Milton 41, Bill Ricca 38. For the men, 35 for Pembroke, 32 for North Attleboro. Shepherd Hill has 23. As we talked about, North Attleboro with a couple of athletes left in the high jump.
Certainly team points up for grabs there. And as you finish this first section, you see Marlboro try and come back on Shepherd Hill. And It's going to be a close one. Marlboro might have just got it. Section 2 features Neshoba in 3, Westboro in 4, and Oliver Ames in 5. What do we think is going to be the key to winning this meet on either side, Shep? What do you think from what's left? What do you think we got?
Well, for the boys, we talked about North Attleboro having a couple guys left in the high jump. They also potentially have Tarantino in the long jump. And then shot put, I believe we haven't gotten yet. Pembroke and North Attleboro both have an athlete in there. Pembroke has 2, so before the relays happen, there's still points to be given to each side.
In the awards area, is the awards for the boys, 2-mile run.
Girls, it's going to completely come down to the relays. This 4x2 is going to be important.
Makes me wish that there's a way. I know nothing's ideal, but wish we could have all the field events done before we started these relays. Have a concrete idea of what needs to happen where to determine a state champion.
You live in a fairy tale land, my friend.
It would be nice, though, wouldn't it? It's Oliver Ames. Right behind Westboro. Neshoba in 3rd.
We'll be keeping our eye on that Tewksbury team in Section 4. And then Sharon and Milton will go head-to-head in the fastest heat.
And the winner of the boys' 2-mile run, a senior from Villarica. This is Sean Stefanik, 9:46.63.
Looks like it's the Stoughton athlete, Laguerre, having a career day in the high jump. Came in with a 6-foot PR.
Good for him. Section 3 underway. Stoughton in 3, Bishop Feion in 4, and Pembroke in 5. It's these types of meets where you see people overperform even more than their coaches might think they can, because it's that atmosphere. People show up and compete. Some people are game time people. This high jumper certainly is. And Pembroke to the break first. 4x2. First athlete runs entirely in lanes. Second, we're on the first corner of the track in lanes, and then break after the turn at the little orange cones on the backstretch. Then from there, it's a free-for-all. Pembroke still a stride ahead of Bishop Feion, with Stoughton about 3 seconds back. Bell now. Clean handoffs all the way around as Feion will challenge Pembroke on the backstretch.
In the boys' line jump, bar is going to 6 feet, 4 inches. Smith, Charles Milton, Mario Bresco of North Attleboro, Brendan Carley of Duxbury, and Paolo Mora.
And Pembroke will win this one, gun to tape. Section 4 of 6 upcoming.
Did you hear Tarantino when they announced who's in the high jump still, or just Bresco?
I did not hear Tarantino. Doesn't mean he's not there. Tewksbury needing some points here in the lead. Tewksbury still out in the lead. Wanted to get some points from this section. Important points in the team battle.
Time, time, time. All on time.
Walpole, Duxbury, and Dartmouth trailing. About 150 flat. Heat 5. Hopkinton in 2, Hingham in 3, Winchester in 4, and Minnechaug in 5. Winchester is a very talented squad when they are healthy. Winchester will be the first to the handoff if it's clean, and it is. Winchester to the break. Well ahead of the field for now.
Is that Tewksbury time of 150?
Yep.
3-7.
This is Winchester.
Which has a chance to beat all these teams from this heat.
I've seen Winchester compete. I think they have 148 talent and potential. Just haven't been able to put it together all year. It depends on who's in this relay.
They've run 152.5. So right there where Tewksbury's time is. Clean handoff would do the trick. Hingham's gotten all the way back in this thing.
Hingham and Winchester, 1-2. I believe that's Augusta Burhans on the anchor leg from Winchester.
It's going to be really close here. You would think they're going to be faster than 150.
And this is Burhans on the outside from Winchester's not going to catch Hingham. And all three of those teams are going to be faster than Tewksbury from that unseeded, from that section before. So doesn't look likely that Tewksbury is going to sneak a lot of points out of this event.
Now the big Sharon-Milton showdown. But with North Attleboro has the #1 seed.
Milford 2, Sharon 3, Milton 4, North Attleboro 5.
Don't worry, we have more Starburst getting us through this final day.
Yeah, we're going to get through it. North Attleboro and Sharon are your teams out in front right now, with Milford and Milton chasing.
Coach Simonino said he has a chance to win this thing.
We'll see. North Attleboro, Sharon. Milton is right back in this thing. Right on the heels of Sharon.
This is North Attleboro. Ready Richard Levante, going ahead with North Attleboro. Can they break the knee record, which is 1:45:09? Tip by Hingham.
North Attleboro, but Sharon is closing.
North Attleboro.
So is Milton.
North Attleboro.
Sharon has to be careful not to be caught by Milton. North Attleboro, Sharon, Milton, Milford.
And that was O'Leary on the anchor leg. Got to think she's coming back for the 4x4 later.
I believe Tewksbury got a point from that.
We would like to get our high jumpers. Danzig, Belcher, Dewhurst, Provo, Johnson, Belcher, Watts, McLaughlin, Fourier, and Allen. Girls high jumpers, please. To the awards area. We want the girls high jumpers. Belcher, Dewhurst, Provo, Johnson, Belcher,
First heat here of the boys 4x200.
McLaughlin, Fourier, and
I fell asleep here a little bit. Hopkinton, Malden Catholic, Walpole, and Marlborough. I wonder if there's ice cream on the line again for the Marlborough team. Well, a little trouble with the handoff for Marlborough. Might have just lost their ice cream. Looked like they were well out of the zone. Malden Catholic out in front.
Oh.
And then there's clear interference.
See, this is the thing that
And the official was not even looking. Clear interference, and the official was not even looking at the play. This is what is frustrating on these day-to-day where everything is so inconsistent. That's unbelievable. Malden Catholic for the win. Out of zone on the first handoff, not called. Clear interference, not called. Coach Fletcher's about to lose his mind on air here.
everybody's human.
Section 2, Diamond Regional, Dartmouth, Stoughton, Tewksbury. Tewksbury out in front. Dartmouth not too far behind. Continues to be Tewksbury leading. Tewksbury on the anchor.
That was also out of the zone.
Was it?
Yes.
The last handoff?
I suppose the umpire is at least being consistent.
136 for Tewksbury for the Heat win. Oh, my Lord. Section 3 of the boys, 4x200. Olive Ames, lane 2, Billerica, lane 3, Shepherd Hill, lane 4, and North Attleboro, lane 5. So this is important for North Attleboro. They are in the unseeded heat. Pembroke is in the seeded heat. They need to win, and they need to win quick. They call that one, but that's because the baton was never handed off. You can't miss that. North Attleboro in the front.
This is a criticism I have. As he approaches the referee to announce the disqualification, there is no umpire currently looking at the next exchange, which is a problem.
Yep. And he's going to talk. He's walking towards the middle and not watching the final exchange. There was no official watching the final exchange of the relay. You can't have that happen. He just walked back too late.
Certainly needs to be a procedure that's a little bit more laid out than what seems to be now.
North Attleboro is going to win this in about 136 flat.
And by no means do we ever mean to discredit an athlete or a team who may have fouled or not have fouled. It's not their fault. It happens in track. But there needs to be consistency, and that's what is important.
I think the official just needs to stay put. He continues to circle around.
As the girls 4x8 lines up, I see Bridget Mitchell.
That was another zone infraction by the Silver Lake team, and it was not called.
That's 3 we've seen in this event alone.
And that's important for North Attleboro there, because that would have been a DQ and would have put them in 4th. So this is kind of some frustrating stuff to watch right now.
It certainly is. And again, it's something that's out of the athlete's control, none of their fault. But a stumble there by Pembroke.
See if they can get back in it here. I believe that's Milford that just got past, and Pembroke is going to win this thing. Just need to beat 136. And they will do so. And it's going to be close. North Attleboro may be close to that. They were 136.46. It's going to be interesting. But as I said, that Silver Lake handoff was awfully close. It looked like to me they were out of the zone. But it's going to stand.
The only section of the girls 4x8s lining up. And Bridget Mitchell is on the track for Milton. Not having run an individual event today, the defending All-State champion in the 1,000 will not retain her crown next week, but she will be on this 4x8. So that's 2 studs, Connolly and Mitchell, not in the 1,000 next week.
Scores right now after the 4x2 for the girls. Sharon 59, Milton 47, and Tewksbury 43. You got to imagine Milton and Tewksbury are going to be looking for some big points in this event right now.
Just historically, I'd say they would be the favorites to go 1-2. Bill Ricker in the mix as well.
That's Milton way back right now, though, correct?
Correct. Yep, 4th to last, or about 10th place. It's a long race. But Tewksbury is in the lead, followed by Billerica. About 73 seconds for the first 400. Neshoba and Billerica right behind Tewksbury. Billerica now to the front over Tewksbury. 1 lap to go in this first leg. Milton climbing back up now towards this handoff.
Pembroke now way out in front in the boys' team scores. Pembroke with 45, North Attleboro 37.
About 2:27 through that opening leg. 3 teams right there. And Bridget Mitchell will occupy the second leg for Milton, so watch to see what she can do to get her team back close to the front. She's battled a lot of injury and illness this season.
Not sure if that includes all the field events.
Tewksbury, Billerica, Bishop Fee, North Attleboro, Milton. Your top 5 starting to spread out just a bit.
Milton lurking back in 5th place right now.
Tewksbury again. And Billerica. With 1 lap to go for these second leg athletes. They're going to get a challenge from Bridget Mitchell, who made a move to go into 3rd. And she's flying, so I cannot imagine she won't hand off in 1st place. It just depends on how much they do it for.
Well, she looks fit. Maybe they'll take a big crack at the 4x8 next week.
Might be the move for a lot of girls' teams.
In 6th place, Tewksbury, 136.76. In 5th place, Billerica, 136.44. Milton, our leader. In 4th place, North Attleboro, 136.16.
Milton, Billerica, Tewksbury, and I believe that's Rachel Sessa on the 3rd leg for Tewksbury with her 3rd race of the day. That's a hard thing to do for an athlete in high school. Mile, 1,000, 800. Running out in the lane 3 to get around Neshoba and their handoff, and she's going to catch that Milton athlete promptly. Trying to see who the anchors are.
Will be all the Milton athlete will try and do right here is try to limit the damage. on how far she falls back.
She's flying. Sessa is pumping those arms, going to another gear.
And she is opening it up.
This is the first call for both the girls and the boys 4 by 400 meter relay. This is the
Sessa, 1 lap to go on her leg.
girls and the boys 4 by 400 meter relay.
It's all Tewksbury on this one.
With Michaela Page as their anchor leg. 133, 600 earlier. It's going to be a mighty fast split here, I would think. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if she came back and ran that 4x4, so maybe she's just going to make sure she gets those 10 points. Billerica second, North Attleboro third, Feehan 4, Milton 5, Hingham 6. Kayla Page, 2 to go.
This is Michaela Page in Tewksbury. She's got 1 to go. 1 to go for the 4x8.
Michaela Page, about 9:40 for the Tewksbury team. About a 2:23 unofficial split. Billerica will finish second. Milton trying to hold on to some key team points, but they might be outkicked twice. We'll see. I think they came in 4th.
All right, so updated men's team scores coming into this 4x8. North Attleboro 50, Pembroke 45, Milford 28. So this is important relay work coming up here. North Attleboro does have teams in both, but Pembroke has the #1 seed in both. So it's all about North Attleboro kind of limiting the damage. I know they didn't double Liam Monahan in the 2 mile, so he is back.
In second, Max Tarantino, North Attleboro, 21 feet 4.5. And I believe our winner is in the boys 4x2 relay. The winner, Smith, Charles, and Milton. Meet record
in this boys 4x800. Just one section, 15 teams. Always interesting to see the start of the race, but it looks like everything is clear past the final turn. Pembroke, Duxbury, Hingham, Tewksbury, Walpole, North Attleboro. North Attleboro sitting in that 6th spot. North Attleboro needs to keep it close. Winchester, Catholic Memorial, Minnechaug, Sharon, Westboro, Hopkinton, Shepherd Hill, Billerica, and Dartmouth. North Attleboro out quick. He needs to make sure he's conservative here these first few laps. Another situation where we have some arm sleeves indoors. Like I said, I certainly don't recommend that. Let's see if it works for him. I would imagine you need to hand off in first if you're wearing an arm sleeve. Well, you should hand off in first?
Yes.
North Attleboro, Pembroke, that's Bittridge who won the 1,000 for Duxbury. Continues to lead, North Attleboro athlete. Bittridge is now making a move in front of, I believe that's Geyser from Pembroke. Coming up on the last lap of the first leg, and that's going to be Bittridge going to the front of Duxbury. They're going to be a formidable opponent for Pembroke in this. North Attleboro pumping those arms. And now that's Geyser making a move into second. North Attleboro athlete needs to hang on here to keep it close. It's going to be Duxbury, Pembroke, North Attleboro, Hingham. We may be seeing Duxbury and Pembroke going back and forth here. Hard move by the Pembroke athlete on the other turn over there. Women's team scores 59 for Sharon, 53 for Tewksbury, 52 for Milton. So we're going to have a showdown here. North Attleboro now in fourth. Keep that North Attleboro watch. So 59 for Sharon, 53 for Tewksbury, 52 for Milton. Both North Attleboro and Pembroke have teams in the 4x4. Going into this, North Attleboro has a 5-point lead.
It was just announced that Pembroke and North Attleboro both have 50 points going into the relays. Boys. Going into the 4x8 and 4x4, I believe.
Duxbury continues to lead. That's Walpole in second now. Pembroke, Hingham, North Attleboro. So it looks like North Attleboro and Pembroke are 50-50 going into this 4x8 right here. 50-50. So all important points everywhere for the boys. North Attleboro versus Pembroke battle.
And to switch over to the
Duxbury in first, Walpole, Hingham. And that's Wengren for Pembroke. He should get them back into this.
An interesting tidbit for the girls. Sharon has a small lead over Tewksbury. I believe 4 points.
6.
6 points. Sharon does not have a 4x4.
And Tewksbury is seated 5th, and Milton is seated 4th. So a Milton win over Tewksbury would do the trick for the win. We're going to have some fireworks down the stretch here. Right now, Pembroke has moved into 4th, and North Attleboro is back in 7th. So, you know, Pembroke has the #1 seed in the 4x4. So if North Attleboro can't hold their ground here, it's going to be all but over. Most likely going to see Monahan on the anchor leg for North Attleboro. Pembroke has used Geyser and Wengren now. So maybe Spellman, if he's not in the 4x4, may be their anchor.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see. Now the interesting part, when you come up and you're lapping athletes, it can get a little crazy. That's Duxbury that continues to lead. Has to get around these opponents. Hingham, Walpole, Pembroke gaining. North Attleboro still sitting in 5th. So currently, Pembroke would only gain, if it finished right now, 2 points on North Attleboro. Duxbury in first. Rusniak, I believe, on the anchor. Hingham, Walpole, Pembroke, and North Attleboro all by themselves, and that's Monahan. So Pembroke athlete, which could be Spellman, moves all the way into second right away. Duxbury has a large lead right now. Monahan starting to move up for North Attleboro. Duxbury all alone out front. It's going to be Duxbury's win. Just need to get that baton around now.
Two to go.
We got a battle for second place. Duxbury on the bell lap right now. And then the fight for second. All important team points for Pembroke. Not sure. I believe those are lap teams, so I believe North Attleboro is still in their correct spot. And that's going to be an 8:08 for Duxbury. Very quick time for them. Pembroke takes second. Hingham third. Walpole fourth. And North Attleboro fifth. So Pembroke gets some important team points.
They just need to do their job in the 400 in a few minutes, and the team title is theirs.
So the only way Sharon could pull this off for the girls is if Tewksbury and Milton
finish no higher than third.
No higher than third. Third would put Tewksbury in a tie with Sharon.
Milton needs to come in second or first to win and not have Tewksbury score any points
ahead
really.
of them. Can't have them finish ahead of them.
Right. 2 sections only of the girls 4x4.
Wow.
First section will be a waterfall start, 7 teams. Second section will start in lanes. This section, Billerica, Marblehead, Duxbury, Oliver Ames, Walpole, Neshoba, and Westboro. 2 laps around the track.
So it looks like some late points were added. Thank you to Stephen Inficelli, our off-site reporter. It looks like North Attleboro now is 59, so that may have been the high jump being added late. So this 4x4 is going to get crazy for the boys between Pembroke and North Attleboro. We'll give you kind of an update on what would have to happen.
It seems like it would be 63-58 if I'm not wrong, with North Attleboro in the lead going into the 4x4.
Someone's not doing their job as far as updating these team scores. So 59 for North Attleboro. Pembroke just picked up 8 to bring them to 58. North Attleboro picked up 5?
4, I believe. They came in
4?
5th, so that's 4
4,
points.
so they picked up 4. So it's 63-58. So North Attleboro just needs to come within 2 places of Pembroke. Thank you, DJ Infamous.
In 8th place in the boys high jump, it is Brian Edwards, Whitman Hanson Regional, 6 feet even.
I believe that's Bill Rick out in front in this first section of the 4x4 for the girls.
Like we talked about it for these girls, Sharon's trying to hold on to dear life. Tukes and Milton are going to battle it out.
A tie for 5th place. Rashid Kamara of Sharon and Richie Aguera of Skelton, 6 feet even.
Let's hope all the points have actually been tallied now
I believe they have.
from those field events.
All the field events seem to be entered, so I think everything is accurate. 6-point lead for Sharon over Tewksbury and 7 points over Milton heading into this final event. If Tewksbury finishes 3rd or higher in the 4x4, they'll at least share the state title, if not win it, barring a Milton win.
His 3rd gold medal of the day. This is Smith Charles Milton. Dash, long jump, high jump. 6 feet, 4 inches.
Still Bill Ricka leading in this heat. 3rd leg, 1 lap to go. And we got Duxbury right behind. Oliver Ames, Westboro, Marlborough, Neshoba, and Walpole.
Make sure you're following us on all social media accounts, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at Bay State Running. Everything we do here is powered by Marathon Sports.
Certainly a place, whether you are a professional runner or just someone who wants to start up their own fitness plan, or someone somewhere in the middle. Stop by any of our local locations or visit us at marathonsports.com for anything you need to accomplish your personal fitness goals and to keep your life in motion.
Bam.
One lap to go. Bill Ricker and Duxbury leading this unseeded heat. That's Barica, about 4:17 to win. And all the money comes down to this heat for the girls. Sharon with a 6-point lead, but does not have a team. 6-point lead on Tewksbury, 7-point lead on Milton. This is important. Last girls event of the day, seated section of the 4x4. Features Hingham, Tewksbury, Milton, North Attleboro, Shepherd Hill, and Hopkinton.
Here we go.
Very fast teams in this race.
Final events of the divisional rounds. We'll be bringing you the All-State meet live next Saturday. We'll have previews. We'll have videos. We'll try and pick the winners. We'll be wrong a couple times. We'll have that for you all week leading up to the All-State Championships. That is Shepherd Hill way out in front, correct?
Correct. Tewksbury second. That position would be just fine for them. Although they cannot have Sessa in this 4x4. I do not know if I see Page. They might not be at full steam.
It's Rebecca James here on the second leg for Shepherd Hill. The distance standout. That's Tewksbury in second, Milton in fifth. Milton looking to move up. And Milton does. Milton is now moving right into second. Wasting no time here. If Milton and Tewksbury were to go 1-2, that would be the finish of team scores as well.
Correct. By 1 point.
And this would be Milton really doing it without Bridget Mitchell, only running the relay. So after that 4x800 relay, the men's team scores are 63 for North Attleboro and 58 for Pembroke. Both in the seeded heat of the boys 4x4.
Hopkinton flying on this third leg, putting Tewksbury back and forth with their eyes on Milton. And that doesn't help anybody them. Hopkinton, best to wait for that next straightaway to go. Hopkinton now moving into the lead. If this were the finish, Sharon would be your girls' champions. But we have one leg to go. Hopkinton and Milton battling for second into the final exchange.
You have O'Leary on this anchor leg.
Elise O'Leary from Milton. Michaela Page from Tewksbury.
Is that the freshman 600-meter runner?
It is. This is going to be, wow. This is going to be a good one.
It's all Shepherd Hill in first, but the team title relies on what happens behind them.
Sharon looking for help from Hopkinton. If Hopkinton can come in second, Sharon will win.
And that could be Holloran from Hopkinton on the anchor
and
leg.
There's Michaela Page.
Oh, man. O'Leary, Page, Holloran. The freshman. O'Leary holds her off before the turn.
And this is your team title, folks.
Shepherd Hill's going to win it.
Holleran swings wide. Page trying to catch up. Milton's going to be your team champions. By a point over Tewksbury.
Holy smokes.
The Milton girls are going to be your team champions. They will move up to 60 points. That will take Billerica to 59 and keep Sharon at 59 as well. So Sharon and Tewksbury will tie for second with Milton 1 point ahead of them both. What a meet.
And we should have same fireworks here. We have North Attleboro with a 5-point lead. Pembroke is the number 1 seed here. So Pembroke wins. North Attleboro would have to finish third
or better.
to win the meet. If they finish 4th, they tie. 5th, they get 2nd. I just crushed that math, if I do say so myself.
I agree. That was
probably made it sound more difficult than it needed to be. Once again, thank you to our off-site reporter, Stephen Inficelli, for giving us the updates on the team scores.
And this is why we do this, to bring you that excitement we just experienced from the comfort of your own home, whether you couldn't make it in or you're a track and field fan. Thank you for joining us.
And did Tewksbury get 3rd there?
They did.
They did. So they're going to get 6 points. So they will tie for 2nd with Sharon. Wow. So we'll have 3 teams taking home trophies in the girls today. It's always nice to have a 4x4 when you're in the team hunt. You try and get it done before, which has been done in the past, but it's nice to have that to fall back on a 4x4 and be in the actual mix at the end in the last race of the day.
Absolutely.
We go over who's in this first heat, or we get too excited from the girls?
I think we got a little bit too jittery there.
All right, let me...
It's only 3 sections.
So 3 sections of the boys 4x4. This first one is Burncoat, Westboro, Oliver Ames, and Tewksbury. Looks like Burncoat and Tewksbury in 1st and 2nd right now. Math is hard.
It is.
Tewksbury on the final exchange. Oliver Ames, that looks like a Winville. I don't think he had his ideal 1,000 earlier. He might be trying to redeem himself here. Westboro in 3rd, Burncoat in 4th. So Pembroke in this final heat can really only, as Coach Sapati would say, control the controllables. They need to win the race.
Yep.
And then they can't control what North Attleboro does behind them.
Correct. They just got to go out, take care of business, and make sure they get 10 points. It's really all they can do.
Man, I'm all jacked up now. I don't even feel like I've been doing this for 5 days.
Can't wait to do it next week. Intermittently. Probably have a rotating cast next week.
That is Winville for the heat win in about 340 high. Oliver Ames faithful, excited over here. Section 2, which will have no team implications involved. Sharon, Silver Lake, Stoughton, Duxbury, Walpole. Obviously, Pembroke comes in with that 329, and then it's really close. Hopkinton 335. Shepherd Hill 336, North Attleboro 337, Milford 337. So it is certainly doable for North Attleboro to get 3rd in this upcoming race. That's Sharon out in front.
This is nice because yesterday we saw some 4x4s going off while there were still high jumps going on.
Yeah.
And that's not ideal for a coach.
You'd like to have all that done and wrapped up before you get to these relays. Sharon, Walpole. Oh, we have a Sharon athlete go down hard there. Hopefully he's okay. Great sportsmanship by Will Bittridge of Duxbury to see if he's okay. Will Bittridge has had a busy day. Won the 1,000. 3rd leg of the winning 4x8 team, and then just ran the 4x4. And he's over by the trash barrel. Sharon continues to lead here.
Walpole making a move.
Yeah. Walpole. Sharon. This one's a little cleaner. Continues to be Walpole leading with Sharon following. Maybe our boss will even give us the day off tomorrow after doing 5 straight track meets.
I don't know about that. You know how he is.
To be determined. Walpole still leading here. Sharon, Duxbury, Silver Lake, and Stoughton. Pembroke really going to be relying on some other teams in this upcoming heat.
Which is never a fun task.
One of my favorite athletes in the state is the Stoughton senior. I'm not sure his name, but he's running around the track cheering his team on, even though they're, you know, in an unseeded heat and far from first.
Last race. Pembroke in the front early. Being trailed by North Attleboro. No surprise there.
North Attleboro is going to want to be on their shoulder the entire time or go take the lead. But you got to be careful when you do that. And the wild thing is there's no official to even watch that exchange. They're busy talking to each other on the turn. So where there was a call made in the Division II meet yesterday, in that exact same spot, there's nobody watching. North Attleboro out in front right now. Pembroke trying to close the gap. Hopkinton. North Attleboro on the exchange. Pembroke right there now. See if anybody else can help out.
If the places stayed like this, it's all North Attleboro's title. They've put some distance on the field. North Attleboro starting to swing wide on that turn. They're going to hand off in first place ahead of Pembroke. Pembroke needs a big leg, not only from their team, from a team behind them, if they'd like to be the team champions.
This looks like Attleboro is going to hold on for it, even if Pembroke does get the win. Pembroke didn't get much help behind them. Pembroke, North Attleboro.
North Attleboro, they're going to be your team champions in Division 3.
Pembroke for the win in the 4x4. North Attleboro's pumped up. Hopkinton's pretty happy about their third. Once again, thank you for joining us these 5 days of MIA Divisional State Championships. We'll be back next Saturday to give you all the action for the MIA All-State meet, where we'll have plenty of good races.
Should be fun.
Yep, go ahead.
Congratulations to the Milton girls and the North Attleboro boys for being the Division 3 team champions. And we'll see how everything rounds up next week.
Runners up in the girls, a tie between Sharon and Tewksbury. And runner up in the boys, congratulations to Pembroke.
Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next week.